for all intents and purposes right now, we are live.
Nice.
We are live on.
Hello.
We are live on Twitch.
Hello, world.
I am now recording, and yeah, I'll get our extra intro here in a second. I'm trying to open it on my phone to make sure that we are live. I can't find it. What is the name of our channel?
Respawn Plea.
Yeah, there we are. I found it. All right. Yeah. Hey, here we go. Here we go. Look at us.
Oh, there we are. We're live. Oh my gosh.
Do what? So, let's get to it, y'all. Let's get to it. Welcome to Respawn Please, the weekly video game podcast where two friends, I changed this from Dum Dums, by the way, two friends talk all things video games, from news to musings and to the games themselves. I'm your host, the solitary gamer, the lover of stories, Jesús, and with me is my co-host, the magnificent, the wondrous, the Mercy Main, the curious gamer, L. How's it going? How's it going?
Hey, going good, going well, man. How are you?
I'm good. Tired. I discovered that I don't sleep at night anymore. I get like 3 hours of sleep, and that's about it. And then I'm just tired all the time.
Yeah, I would say you're just dragging all day.
Yeah, I stress out about teaching. I'm stressing about my thesis. I have to get my thesis finished, and I'm defending it over the summer. So I don't know why I'm already having like night sweats about it. But I defended over the summer, but I'm having night sweats already. And yeah, just teaching, thesis. My dog's keeping me up too. My dogs like to lay on top of me, so they keep me up all the time.
I'm right there with you. My dog, she definitely wakes me up like at 3 a.m, sometimes 6 a.m, just to go take her out to use the bathroom. And I'm like, dragging myself out. And then she'll be growling sometimes. And I'm like, is somebody in the house? I'm like, what is going on? And then I'd start to be like, wait a second, is somebody in this house? And I'll have to walk up and down the house, check each room, and be like, okay, it's clear. So I get a lot of sleepless nights as well. So, but nothing like that.
Yeah. It's a nightmare sometimes. It's a nightmare.
Man.
Okay. Let's try that. Sorry, just everything's super loud in my ears. I got to figure out what's going on. No. Since this is our first episode, this magically came to be about 3 weeks ago when I reached out to you.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's because I want to talk about video games. I love video games, and I didn't want to do this by myself because I'm scared. I'm scared. But no. So yeah, and I didn't want to do a podcast by myself, so I reached out to you, and you jumped on board. So here we are. And since this is our first episode ever of Respawn Please, as clunky as this already is, I have questions for you, Al, to see what you can, for people to get to know you, to get to know me and all that. Cool. Just going to throw this out at you. Tell us, what's your gaming history? Like, where did gaming start for you? What's your first fondest memory that you can remember? That's a weird phrasing.
The first memory I have with video games, actually, I remember getting a Super Nintendo and, of course, playing the Super Mario Brothers. And I remember playing that. After that, I remember playing fondly, playing this Super Nintendo game, Gremlins. You remember the movie? And there was like a Gremlins Super Nintendo game. And I think I remember certain parts of it, but they're kind of hazy. Mm-hmm. Outside of that was just like history, went from the Super Nintendo to Nintendo 64, PlayStation, Xbox, Game Boy Advance, Game Boys, things like that. So it started early for me just because I think my mom, I was kind of like an annoying kid sometimes. So my mom would be like, here, take this, distract yourself. And then I just kind of got addicted to it. And I was like, whoa, I love video games and I love getting lost in these worlds.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, for me, it started with my dad, pretty much. Like, my dad, you've met my dad. He's a big old nerdy Puerto Rican guy. But my earliest memory of video games is when I was living in Ohio, way back when I was like 4 years old or something like that.
Wow.
And I remember watching my dad play games on PC. I remember him playing and the timeline might be a little skewed here. My memories might be a little bit off, but I remember watching him play Star Wars X-Wing. Star Wars X-Wing, Star Wars TIE Fighter. I remember watching him play the Ultima games. This was a little later, but I remember watching him play EverQuest and all of that. If you remember EverQuest, that was like late 90s, early 2000s. EverQuest was like one of the first MMOs ever. Not quite, but close. But yeah, I just have all those memories of that. And then, but like my first gaming system that I owned that like my parents got for me was the N64. It started with the N64 for me.
Wow.
I remember playing Mario 64, Zelda Ocarina of Time. I don't know if maybe somebody will remember this, but Star Wars Shadow of the Empire, which was an awesome.
Familiar.
It's man, you can buy it on Steam now, I believe, or GOG or something like that. And I bought it, and I go, oof. My memories of this game are like, this was the funnest game ever. Played it briefly, and I was like, oof, this did not age well at all. What did stupid Jesus what did stupid little Jesus enjoy about this game? But yeah, it started with the N64 for me, and then of course I got a Game Boy because of Pokemon. I love Pokemon back here. Whoop Pokemon. Got a silver Bulbasaur and got a little Squirtle. No Charmander though. No Charmander amongst the group. I got a white Vulpix.
Nice.
White Vulpix. Anyways.
Wow.
Anyways, but so it started with Game Boy, and then 2001 came. 2001, the Xbox dropped, and the rest is history. The rest is history for me because like my dad got it at launch, got me Halo at launch, and
my God.
The rest is pretty much history for me. And I was an Xbox person, until about 2015 when I finally got a PlayStation. Because like you remember in college, I was the Xbox guy in college.
Exactly. I remember you being the Xbox guy. You were always playing Dead Space, playing Halo, playing Gears of War.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I remember all of it.
Stomping you in everything.
That's the reason why I hate Gears of War. I hate Gears of War, but I just didn't click with it. But I was like, what is this? But I loved Halo and I loved Dead Space. You got me into Dead Space. I was like, whoa, this is crazy horror game. But it was so much fun. And you were the Xbox guy.
Yeah. And then there was Zach, who was the Nintendo guy, right? He always had the Wii. We'd be like, hey, let's play Mario Kart. Bring the Wii down here. Let's play Mario Kart.
Oh my God. I remember late nights playing Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Oh my God! And just going, if you ever lost, you'd be like, "No, go again," and it just went on till 4 or 5.
It just got worse and worse. Yeah. Do you? I don't know if you remember this, and maybe my memory of this is skewed. Maybe I'm mistaking this for some other. Do you remember a time? This is a story about college. For everybody, just so everybody knows, Elias and I go way back. I used your real name, L.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay. We go way back. We were friends in high school. We were suite mates, roommates and stuff in college. So we go way back where it's like 14, 15 years of friendship pretty much.
Oh, wow.
We're old. But anyways, do you remember this one time we were playing Mario Kart? It was late at night. I snubble into the dorm lobby. I'm drunk as all can be. You guys are playing Mario Kart. I walk over and I'm like, I want to play. You guys pass me the controller. And then we start playing, a game starts, and then I forgot how to play the fucking game, and I just yell, what are the controls? How do I play this fucking game?
I think I remember you sitting down, and you're sitting there, and then the race starts, and then I remember just looking at the screen, and I think you looked at your controller, and you were like, I don't know how to go.
Yeah. Well, crazy times there, It's wild times, but yeah, and then, I didn't get into PlayStation until like 2015 when I got a PlayStation 4. So it was like for a good while. Now I split all my time between multiple systems. I have a Switch, I have a Xbox Series X, I have my PC, and then I have the PlayStation 5, and I play between all of that. And so that's sort of my history. I went from being a solo Xbox person for the longest time to now I just play on everything. And during all that time, I always had a DS and always played Pokemon. Pokemon is like the main thing that has always stayed with me throughout my years. Because like now, I don't play Halo anymore, really. I played Halo Infinite when it dropped, but don't really play it anymore.
Wow.
I haven't touched Gears of War in Probably since we were in college together. Like
That's wild.
I have not played a Gears of War game at all in forever. So that's sort of it's weird how like you just grow out of things. It's
no, definitely. I think for me, like I grew up. I'm trying to think of like if there was a game. I know I played Halo a lot whenever it first came out, and I was like addicted to that, and I loved it. I kind of stopped. Love Grand Theft Auto. I actually am going back to Grand Theft Auto right now because that game I think hit me just at a pivotal point in my life where I was like, wow, this is wild. Where it was kind of open worldish, you know, and you could do anything. And Grand Theft Auto, like I have nostalgia with that game, and I love those games, especially like 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, and even 4. And so, yeah. And then now, like, I'm trying to think if I have any other games that I go back to like that, and I can't think so. I think I'm actually going to run back through Dead Space, and so that's like another one that I really like.
Yeah. Are you excited about the Dead Space remake that's going to be coming out?
Yes, I'm excited for that. I can't wait for that.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say I can't wait. Have you seen the trailer or like the little thing that they announced?
Oh yeah, of
course. I'm so excited.
Of course, I love Dead Space. It's really weird too, because like I love Dead Space, but I do not like Resident Evil. Like,
oh yeah,
like you would think like I love Dead Space, but I could just never get into Resident Evil. Like it just. I try my hardest. Like I tried playing the Resident Evil 2 remake that came out a couple years ago, you know, and tried playing through that. Hated. I was miserable the entire time. I was like, I'm forcing myself to play this, and I am not enjoying this. So I uninstalled it from my PS5 and never touched it again. I'm never gonna touch it again. Was
that the one? Was that the one with Chris Redfield?
No. The remake was Resident Evil 2 is with Leon. It's just a remake of Resident Evil 2. So it was Leon and Claire, I believe.
Yeah. I think Resident Evil. I remember playing. Was it on PlayStation 3, which had Nemesis?
Uh-huh.
And I remember I played it, and I think I kept getting scared by Nemesis and stuff. And I was like, I'm not going to finish this game. This is too scary for me. And then I couldn't figure it out, and it just didn't click with me.
Yeah. For me, it's not even like a fear thing. It's like I just wasn't enjoying myself. It was just whatever. Like nothing scared me. The things that I guess were supposed to be scary, I was just like, this is stupid. that was my response. Like stuff would happen, I was just like, this is dumb. I don't freaking care about any of this. And so but like with Dead Space, I freaking love Dead Space. I like going back and playing through 1 and 2. Never gonna probably ever visit 3 again, but
I was just about to say 3 was not the best, but hey, you know, 1 and 2 are still there. Yeah,
2 is still my favorite of the 2. It does get 2 does get more actiony. It just I just felt like there was more epicness to it, more story to it than in 1.
Definitely.
Which kind of leads into this next question. What are some of your favorite games?
Of course, some of my favorite games, Grand Theft Auto, specifically Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City. I love those the most. Those are really fun.
Not San Andreas. San Andreas isn't in there, or
it is, but it's like I think San Andreas to me, it got to a point where it kind of the world got a little too big.
Yeah, okay. I feel that. Yeah,
you know, and like it was cool. I did like the aspects, but like one thing that I didn't really care for was the part of like keeping yourself healthy and all these things. And I'm like, I really don't want to do that. I want to go shoot some people, do some missions, and just be on my way.
Yeah.
And so, but it still has a good story and stuff. But it was a little too much for me. But those two, I want to say, because you got me on the spot here. I'm trying to remember. I think another game of mine that I really, really liked. Oh, another game that I really liked that I know I have a love-hate relationship with Overwatch, the first one.
Okay, yeah.
Because
the first one's the only one that's out, so.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But Overwatch, because that game was introduced to me by my little brother, and he had it, and I remember I played it, and I was like, wow, this game is really cool. The characters look cool, the powers and everything like that, and it's like competitive.
Yeah.
And I'm sometimes a competitive person, but you kind of, with games like that, and like Call of Duty and all these other things, you have this like back and forth of leveling up, leveling down, leveling up, going down, up, down, and it's like a never-ending thing.
Yeah.
And so I have a love-hate relationship with that, but I play it because it's a simple game and it's like a formulaic type of thing where you go, play, and then you're done.
Yeah.
You know. And then I think lastly, the games that I can remember is probably I really like Dead Space a lot.
Yeah.
Dead Space, the first one, it just reminds me of like a slow horror film, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, it's very slow, the eeriness, the creepiness, and yeah, I think that's it for me for that what I can remember.
Yeah.
What about you?
Man, oof. Yeah, several things over the years. There's a couple games that have never changed for me in terms of how much I enjoy them. I like no secret because of the R2 back here. I love Star Wars, and so Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, one of my favorite games of all time. Still to this day, I can play it, and nothing about it ever gets old for me. There are parts of Star Wars Knights of the Republic now that when I play it, I'm just like, I just want to skip all this shit. Can we get to the fun stuff, please? But like, I still love the game, and it's that comes from the fact that I play Star Wars Knights of the Republic every year. So like, there are parts where I'm just like, I just need to skip this. I've done this a million times. Ugh, this is killing me. But Star Wars Knights of the Republic, Half-Life 2 is still one of my favorite games of all time.
Man, I forgot about that.
Half-Life 2, Portal 1, Portal 2. There was a time in my life where I was I think it was when I was still living in the dorms and stuff. I don't remember if you remember this time, but there was a time where for a whole weekend I shut myself away just to play Portal 2 because it got released.
I think I remember. I do remember that.
I was like, don't talk to me. Nobody talk to me. I'm going to play the Portal 2 campaign. Everybody leave me alone.
Man.
And I shut myself away and just played Portal 2. I love Portal 2. Obviously, I love the Pokemon games. All of them. I play all of them. Still trying to make my way through Arceus, Pokemon Legends Arceus. But if I had to pick my favorite Pokemon games, probably this is the one that's controversial for a lot of people. But I really, really love Pokemon Black and White 2.
Okay.
Because Black and White 2 was the first Pokemon game that felt like, to me at least, felt like it had a substantial story to it. The story that actually felt meaningful. Because Pokemon, Pokemon's not really about the story or anything. It's just, go collect the monsters, and occasionally something interesting happens, and it's usually always this little, for some reason, it's always a 11-year-old kid having to face down full-grown adults that are trying to take over the world, destroy the world, or something. It's like, what? Yeah. but that's usually what it breaks down to. But Pokemon Black and White 2, there's a lot of nuances, and there's this whole thing about depression in it and stuff, and it's just really good. It's something that just captured me when I play it. And so, the sad news about Black and White, my Black 2 copy that I had. My precious baby girl, my love of my life, my puppy Morrigan. She chewed up the DS cartridge, and so I don't have Black and White 2 anymore. But I had a completed dex and everything.
Wow!
She chewed it up, and there's no saving
it's all gone.
Yep. I had
oh my God.
If I remember correctly, I had 300 hours in it, according to the little thing. It tells you how much time you play on it and stuff.
Yeah.
I had 300 hours or something like that because I was obsessed with it. I loved it.
Holy moly.
But yeah, after and then of course, you probably remember this, Mass Effect for me. I love Mass Effect. Mass Effect 1, 2, 3. I even like Andromeda. People don't like Andromeda, but fuck you, I love Andromeda. All you people that hate Andromeda out there, screw you. I don't like you. I'm kidding. You're great. It's perfectly, I understand why people don't like Andromeda. For me, I like it because of Mass Effect. I do like the world. And the combat for Mass Effect Andromeda is probably the best that combat has ever been in any of the Mass Effect games. But yeah, there's valid reasons not to like it though, because the story's not that great, to be honest, and the characters aren't as memorable as the core cast from Mass Effect 1, like Rex, Garrus. My cat is named after Garrus from Mass Effect, so I have Garrus, and then outside of Mass Effect 2, outside of Mass Effect, I also love Dragon Age. Both my dogs are named after characters from Dragon Age, Morrigan and Alistair. So,
okay. Wow.
And yeah, so like, I love RPGs. That's really my big thing too. Is, back when we were living together in dorms and stuff, I was super competitive about games, but like I have grown out of that, and like I cannot play Halo for the life of me anymore. Like I try to play Halo, and it's like I die in 2 seconds. I'm like, this is not fun. I'm just gonna go back to my stories.
I want to add Half-Life 2 because you actually put me onto that, and then I played it later in life, and I was like, wow, this game's amazing.
Yeah.
So much to the point to where I went back to play 1.
Oh, really? How'd that go for you?
Man, it's amazing. It's like not as I would say it's still a great game.
Uh-huh.
But 2 to me, just like everything about it was so cool and like so like you could tell the advancement of it from 1 to 2. And so, but like it made me so good because I was curious of just it's this crazy mysterious story about Gordon Freeman, and then the what's the guy in the suit called? I forgot they call him something. They give him a nickname or something like that. Where people on the internet.
I can't. I want to say Mr. Smith, but I'm thinking that's Matrix.
Oh no, but it's really good. And then I think someone updated 1 with like a fan made game and like updated graphics and everything like that, but still kept like its original form and everything. And it was amazing to play.
Yeah, looking up Gordon Freeman. Yep. G-Man. There you go.
G-Man, that's what it is. G-Man.
I don't know why I was going Mr. Smith for the Matrix because. Yeah. Have you ever checked out Black Mesa?
Black Mesa? No, I've heard of it. Wait, is it Black Mesa?
Black Mesa is the remake of Half-Life 1.
Yes. Yes. I have. Amazing.
Yeah. I have it too. I played through it. I love it. I just love Half-Life. I love that whole universe. Maybe one day Valve will, make a sequel to Half-Life and make a sequel to Portal, and I could do without Left 4 Dead. I don't need Left 4 Dead, but whatever.
Yeah, Left 4 Dead, like it was cool. It just didn't. It just kind of felt like I don't even know. There's probably a story in there, but it just felt like killing zombies and going from one place to the end.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it though for the people who loved it, but
it's. I did play it recently with with my D&D group. We like to every now and then play video games together instead of doing D&D, and we went through a couple of the campaigns in Left 4 Dead, and it was fun, but it's just like, don't really. The only reason I played it was because I had 3 other people that wanted to play it, and I was like, sure, let's have a fun night and do it, and it was good for the 3 hours that we played and stuff. I got mad at one of the fellow players because he had never played before and he was an idiot, and we all died because of him. But whatever. I'm not salty about it or anything. Let's not even worry about that. But yeah. So outside of video games, though, what do you do outside of video games? What is the life of L outside of video games?
Me? Well, I'm a musician, artist, singer, producer. I make music. Occasional photographer, and videographer, video editor, really anything in like the music space or the I guess you could call it film space, just editing. Because we both went to school, film and everything. And so, outside of that, just doing a lot of music, working out. I try to work out 6 days a week.
Lame. What? Who does that?
But other than that, yeah, man, that's what takes up most of my time. That's what I occupy my time with, just working on music, creating things, and just working on that.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah, for me, I like I said at the top of the show, I'm a teacher. I teach intro to creative writing to college students. I am a student myself. I'm getting an MFA in creative writing at the university we went to together. Before I transferred to another university entirely. But I'm back where it all began for me with college life and getting my MFA, finishing it up over the summer. After that, I have no idea what's going to go on. Like, I'm scared. I'm horrified. No, I do plan on chasing a PhD afterwards.
Oh wow.
I'm taking a year off in between, but I do hopefully I get accepted to a PhD program. But yeah, I'm planning to chase a PhD. I want to be the first Dr. Jesus Manuel Rivera. I want to be the first one.
Nice.
I want to be the first one because I'm Jesus Manuel Rivera the fourth. None of the other ones are doctors. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a doctor. I'm not going to be an actual doctor. You know, I'm not going to be able to. I'm not going to be able to save someone's life if someone goes, "They're a doctor on the plane." I'm going to be like, "Yeah, I'm English lit, doctor of English lit. I can help you with your literature. Thank you."
Oh my god! This guy's dying. We need a real doctor. And then someone's like, "The guy died."
Well, what? But but I plan on chasing a PhD, getting a doctorate, and all that. We'll see what happens. I got to take a year off though because I'm drained out. I'm just like, ugh. Part of the reason I even started graduate school was because COVID. Like COVID happened, and well, I was already in my first year when COVID happened, but it's like because I had debated about dropping out my first year of grad school. But then COVID happened, and I was like, well, I guess I'm going to stay because it doesn't look good to go out right now. So I ended up just sticking around and staying and stuff. But enough about us. You know, I swear this is a podcast about video games.
Exactly. This is a podcast about video games, not just us.
Not just us rambling. I just wanted to introduce ourselves to all the listeners and everything. But we are going to talk about some Pokemon, we're going to talk about some video game stuff. And the first one is about Pokemon Gen 9.
That's crazy.
I love 9. Yeah, oh my god, it's been around forever. I love Pokemon to death, and so I thought we would start the conversation off with talking about Gen 9. For audio listeners right now, I have a picture up of the 3 starters. The 3 Gen 9 starters. We got Sprigatito, which is a grass cat. We have Fuecoco, who is a fire crocodile. And then we have, what do we have? I love saying it.
Quaxley.
We have fucking Quaxley, yeah.
Quaxley.
We got Quaxley. It's just like, the thing that amuses me the most about these 3 starters is that you have Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and then Quaxley. You get these two very sort of Spanish sounding names.
Yeah.
And then you get Quaxley. And that's what kills me about these 3 starters. And the fact that Quaxley is literally just a duck. Like when you hear the name Quaxley, it's just like, okay, Quaxley I would assume is a duck, yeah. And it's just a duck. When you hear Sprigatito or Fuecoco, you don't think crocodile or weed cat, right?
Exactly, you don't.
But yeah, I love the names of the starters. I actually love the way they all look. This is probably like based off of just visuals. This is probably my 3 favorite in a long time.
I could see that. Yeah, they all look really cool. Because I'm trying to think of nothing wrong with the other designs or anything, but this one, for some reason, I feel like these are very unique, and they have this cool appeal to them. Like even as something as simple as Quaxley, he's just a duck. Yeah. For some reason, he looks like a cool ass duck. Like he looks great. Same thing with Fuecoco and Gatito?
Sprigatito.
Sorry, Sprigatito. They all look cool. They all look really cool, and you're like, it kind of makes you want to be like, wow, I want to play with these Pokemon and go into this world, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Their designs are really good. I love them. I'm interested to see how they're going to grow and what they're going to look like as they evolve. Because they always there's the whole debate right now about Sprigatito on like the Twitter sphere and all the other spaces and stuff of keeping the little cat on all fours, keeping it a quadruped instead of being a bipedal. Right, that's the right word, right? Bipedal, two legs. Yeah. But I don't know. I'd go either way. I'm interested in see what they evolve. I wanted to get your thoughts about the region. The region is based on Spain, so I wanted to see.
That's really cool. Yeah. I actually like that, and so it goes with the theme, of course, of Sprigatito and Fuecoco and just this whole feeling of it. Looking at I was looking at some videos of it earlier with like the landscape. It looks really cool, and then of course with the evolving of like generations of like now we're on the Switch and the graphics look better, and it just keeps going on and on. It starts to feel more like a world coming from, you know, when Red and Blue first started. You're on this 2D thing, and then now this looks like so much. It looks really cool. Like I like it.
Yeah. Have you kept up with the Pokemon games? Have you played any of the recent ones? Sword and Shield, Pokemon Legends Arceus, however you pronounce it.
I've watched other people play them, but I haven't myself played them. But there's like a couple streamers that I watch that they'll play it from time to time. It looks interesting, but seeing the evolution. But I myself haven't played too much of it.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield got a lot of crap because like when it got announced, it also was announced that there's going to be no national decks or anything like that. A bunch of Pokemon were not going to be in it. And so a lot of fans like were like, no, we're Sword and Shield, you're not going to include all the Pokemon. What is this bull crap? Blah 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 blah. And it was just all that dialogue. I was like, that's whatever. And like there's valid criticisms about it too. Like story wise, it's oddly enough, it's probably the least story heavy of the Pokemon games. Pokemon has never been story heavy to begin with, but Sword and Shield, like literally just because normally, you know, you had the 11-year-old kid going up against like Team Rocket or Team Galactic or Team whatever. But in this one, there was no like teams to go against, and all the action happened off screen. Like stuff would happen, and Leon, who's sort of like your mentor / the leader, like the final person you have to beat in a tournament and stuff, he would appear and go, "Oh, I got this. You go do your thing. You go get those badges. I'll take care of this." And so you would go get your badges, and then Leon would go handle everything off screen. So it's like, so there's valid criticisms there about like just how that was paced out and stuff. But there was a lot that Sword and Shield did that I enjoyed though, like the wild areas. I really liked a lot of the Pokemon that get introduced. I'm a huge Corviknight stan. Have you ever seen a Corviknight?
I don't think so.
I love Corviknight. Corviknight is my favorite of Corviknights are my favorite bird Pokemon since Pidgey. I'm
looking at them.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it up on screen here. Like I love Corviknights. That it starts off as Rookity, evolves into Corvisquire, and then Corviknight. It's a flying steel type bird, and I love the design. Corviknight's like became one of my new favorite Pokemon. I love I love Zacian. I love Zamazenta, which are the two legendaries. So there's a lot about Sword and Shield I love, and then Pokemon Legends Arceus. I haven't gotten too far into it, but I love the change of pace in Arceus. I don't know how familiar are you with Arceus outside of just watching it and stuff?
Yeah, just watching it, really not a lot.
Yeah. I love the new way, like they open the world up a lot. Pokemon battles are handled differently. And it's just I like the way Pokemon Arceus has changed up the like standard formula of Pokemon, and I hope going into this new gen to Scarlet and Violet that they kind of keep some of those things that Arceus introduced and enhance them, like, because it would be kind of weird to go back to just the old mainline style that it had. But you know, we'll see what happens with Scarlet and Violet. I'm excited about it. It's coming out at the end of 2022. Probably nice. My feeling is probably November, because that's when Pokemon games normally drop. If they're part of the mainline game. So we won't have to wait too long. I mean, we have to wait till the end of the year, but we'll see. Is there anything that you would expect or would want out of a new gen of Pokemon besides?
I was gonna say, besides everything that's changing, I actually like the direction that they're taking it, because it just you're kind of evolving. Cliche with Pokemon, but you're kind of evolving with trying new things and not going with the same formula. I like it whenever companies or like game developers they try to be like, cool, let's try to keep the thing that people who played the game love, but also give them something new, so that way it's exciting and you just keep growing. And this whole open world, like borderless thing, and just reading and watching videos about the Pokemon game, it's like I'm like, wow, this actually makes me want to jump back in to this new generation, and it's been a while since I've played a Pokemon game, but like this makes me be like, wow, this is actually really kind of cool that they're trying all these new things.
Oh yeah, I agree. Like I'm fascinated to see like what they mean by open world, because they said Pokemon Legends Arceus was open world. It's not really open world. It's structured like a Monster Hunter game where you have zones that you go into, and those zones are open world, but they're not they're not really open world. But like with them saying that there's borderless cities, like it's just smooth transition, and that's kind of how it was, sort of, kind of, in the back in Red versus Blue. You just casually walk into a city, like everything felt connected. Like, granted, it wasn't 3D, it was the 2D style, and it was on a Game Boy and stuff. But I don't know. It's like, it seems like it's an evolution of that idea, but on top of Pokemon Legends Arceus and all that. So I'm interested in seeing like how that's going to take shape. I'm interested to see how the Switch is going to handle it.
Oh yeah,
Switch is getting old.
That's crazy to think. You saying that the Switch is getting old, that's crazy to think, because I feel like it just came out a year or two ago.
I mean, today's the anniversary. It's the 5-year anniversary of Switch.
Wow.
It's the 5-year anniversary. We can talk a lot about that too, which we're going to here in a second. But like, the Switch, like, it's, even though it's only 5 years old, it's already showing its age, like game wise. And yeah, you have games that are still beautiful to look at, like Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey looks beautiful. Mario Kart still looks awesome, but like it's also Pokemon Legends felt like it was pushing the Switch could do. I'm interested in see how much this next Pokemon game will also push. But this is a good time to like segue into like a broad question I have. We're going to talk about, this is a multifaceted question that with multiple layers, because we're going to talk about all 3 big sort of studios. But since we're on the topic of Nintendo, where do you see Nintendo going this year in 2022? Nintendo announced a lot of stuff about a week or two ago with a Nintendo Direct. We got the Mario Strikers. We have the DLC for Mario Kart.
After we were just talking about this, Mario Kart's been out for what, 8 years?
Yeah,
this latest one.
It's been freaking. It was on the Wii. Mario Kart 8 was on the Wii U. Does anybody remember the Wii U? Nobody.
I barely remember.
Nobody gives a shit about the Wii U. Let's be real. Yeah. Nobody cares. There's a reason why it only lasted 2 years, 3 years, or something like that before the Switch came out. But like, nobody cares about the Wii U. But it was on the Wii U, and then it got the deluxe version on the Switch, and then it was a release title too, wasn't it, for the Switch? Mario Kart. Here, let me look that up real quick.
Maybe.
I clicked on the wrong thing. Everybody could see. Mario Kart 8 Switch release. Yeah, so April 28th, 2017. So So yeah, it was like a month or two after the Switch came out.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Switch release.
Switch, it says March 3rd, 2017?
Yeah. So yeah, it was like a month after the Switch came out. But still, like, it's crazy to think that Mario Kart's now getting DLCs like all this time later. That's
really wild. I kind of feel like it makes sense for Nintendo for what they're doing. I think to kind of sorry for cutting you off, but just for like Nintendo, for what I think Nintendo will do, I think they're going to keep this system. You're going to see this for maybe like another year. I'm pretty sure currently they're working on a better upgraded Switch or a Switch 2 or whatever they end up calling it. But I think with that Pokemon game coming out at the end of the year and then all this DLC, I think what they're going to do is they're doing that whole subscription thing with like, now you can play N64 games, and they're going to slowly bring that back into the Switch to just kind of like keep making money. And then people will complain about the Switch being able to like handle, certain games and certain graphics and not looking as good as maybe a PS5 or Xbox. But I think Nintendo's just trying to like bet on like these good games like another Zelda or maybe, this Pokemon game, and just win with these like great story-driven games. And so I think that's what you're going to see, like a lot more cool games. I think that's what's going to happen for the Switch.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. Like Zelda, the next Breath of the Wild is rumored. It hasn't been confirmed, but it's rumored to come out this year. And so that'll be interesting if that happens, if it happens towards the end of the year. I can't imagine them shadow dropping Breath of the Wild, but maybe they announce it like over the summer and they're like, and it's available today.
That'd be wild.
The internet would break probably. Like
yes,
everything in the world, you wouldn't like the world would break. It's the end of the world. You know, we're all dead. It's all good. But yeah, I 100% agree with that. Like I think there's another year or two left in the Switch. I think, especially if Breath of the Wild is, well, I'm going to backtrack on that statement here in a second. Okay. And I'm backtracking because when Breath of the Wild came out, it also came out on the Wii U. It was a dual release title for the Wii U and the Switch. So maybe the next Breath of the Wild will be a dual release for the Switch and whatever comes next. I said next.
Yeah.
So that's something that might, yeah. And if that's the case, then I don't see Breath of the Wild 2 coming out this year if they do that trend where, because Twilight Princess also got the same thing when Twilight Princess released. It released on the GameCube and the Wii. So if I'm remembering that correctly,
because didn't Switch just release that updated Wii, or not the Wii, the Switch?
The OLED. Yeah, the OLED Switch OLED. Yeah, it came out back in October, September, somewhere around there.
Yeah, that's what makes me think that I think we got like another year of the Switch, because they're like, we just dropped this somewhat upgraded, Switch, and so, but I could see, I don't know if the new Zelda's coming out this year, but maybe, you never know.
Yeah, I could see if it doesn't come out next year, or if it doesn't come out this year and comes out next year, I could see them also releasing, like, pushing it towards the end of the year and then dropping a Switch 2, Switch Pro, Switch whatever to go to accompany it. You know, like, because I at least that's what I could see that happening. But you know, Nintendo is Nintendo. Nintendo doesn't really play by the same rules as Microsoft or Sony. They do their own thing. They go, you guys have your little war, whatever people want to pretend console war, because the console wars are bullshit anyways, but people, you fight over whatever. We'll go make our Mario games, our Pokemon games, our Zelda games, our Kirby games. Kirby's come out later on this month.
Oh yeah,
Kirby Lost Land something. I don't remember the name.
Lost in Starland. No,
I just played the demo of it today too, because the demo dropped on the Switch today, so I played a little bit of it. It was pretty fun. It's pretty fun. I've never been a big Kirby fan, but
Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
The Forgotten Land. See, I knew it was something lands. But yeah, that drops later on this month, like the 25th, 24th, something like that. So
nice.
So Nintendo has a lot of stuff coming out this year. I mean, you know, because you got the Kirby, you got the Mario Strikers, which I'm super hyped about Mario Strikers.
Yeah. You
got Pokemon at the end of the year. I'm sure there's probably stuff filling in between Strikers and Pokemon coming out. They dropped Triangle Strategy tomorrow. I believe Triangle Strategy comes out tomorrow, which is a tactical RPG that looks pretty cool. It's a 2D. It's a 2D tactical RPG. It looks really good.
Okay.
Reviews are, I believe reviews are out for it now, I think. And I think the reviews are good. I don't know. So moving on from Nintendo, because I feel like there's not a lot to really say about Nintendo other than that there's got some awesome games coming out this year. This year started off with a bang. January came, 2022 was like, wonder what's going to happen. We got some exciting games coming out in February. We have Elden Ring, we have Horizon Forbidden West. And then here comes Microsoft, just dropping probably the biggest news ever. I cannot think of anything. Other than the Bethesda purchase a couple years ago. But Activision Blizzard being bought, or beginning the process of acquisition up into Microsoft acquiring them. Blizzard, Activision. Activision Blizzard? What's the order of that? I can't remember. But I think it's Activision Blizzard. Yeah, I think it's Activision. That was like the biggest news. Like, it happened like mid-January. It's like took everybody by surprise, because that was not something anybody probably expected. I remember waking up, I was I was reading. I was great. I think I was. No, I don't think I was in school. I don't think semester started yet. Maybe it had. I don't know. But I remember being on my computer. I was watching Book of Boba.
Mm-hmm.
And then got finished with the episode. Got on Twitter. It was like 8:00 in the morning, and I was Twitter. Oh my god! Microsoft buys Activision Blizzard. What the fuck? And then it was just like all day long. I was looking at articles, listening to podcasts about this whole thing because I was like, holy shit, this might be the biggest news in video game like history almost. Because when you Activision Blizzard, it's Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Diablo, what other Crash Bandicoot. It's like all of this crap is potentially going to be under Microsoft. But what are your thoughts about that? Like, how did you take the news when you heard it?
I was like, holy shit. I was like, what the hell is going on? And then my next thing was like, I don't know if I necessarily saw this coming, because supposedly from reading the article, they had been talks for a while. These deals that just don't happen overnight or like within a week. They take a long time.
Yeah.
And so, it was crazy to me. It's crazy to me to think. So a part of me was like, wow, this is cool because of course I love Overwatch, and I was like, oh wow, this might help Overwatch 2 because Overwatch 2 is not looking so great. And I was like, maybe this will definitely help.
I'm gonna just tell you right now, you give up your hopes and dreams. There's gonna be no Overwatch 2. Gonna crush your dreams there. You're never gonna see it. You're never gonna see it. It's gone forever.
Then my next thing that I thought of, I was like, is this a good thing for video games? I was like, is this a good thing that Microsoft's buying all these things,
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, Microsoft has a track record because they bought Bethesda, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, they bought Bethesda. They've bought prior to Bethesda, they had acquired multiple like small studios. They got Obsidian, which is the creators of Fallout New Vegas, which is people consider it the best Fallout game. They acquired Compulsion Games, I believe. There's a whole list. Hold on, Microsoft, because they were going after like relatively small teams before Bethesda, and so let me look at the full list of this for Microsoft. Yeah. So they got oh my god, this list is a mess. Where is a comprehensive list? Oh my god. There you go. Maybe that'll give me a better look. Okay. So Compulsion Games, Ninja Theory, In Exile, Obsidian Entertainment. So there was a lot of like small teams prior to it. Yeah. And it was like on top of joining things like Rare and 343 and all of that. So Microsoft had that history of acquiring these small teams, and then it made that big splash with Bethesda last year, 2 years ago, where it was, holy crap, Microsoft is getting Bethesda and everything under Bethesda, because it wasn't just Bethesda that they got. They got Bethesda, they got ID, they got Arcane, they got ZeniMax, they got a bunch of different places, a bunch of studios to go with it as well that fell under the Bethesda tree. And now they have Activision Blizzard potentially, because that comes with Blizzard. That comes with Toys for Bob. Comes with Sledgehammer. Comes with basically all the Call of Duty developers, like the different Call of Duty teams. So it's like they just took all of this and just potentially by this time next year we may have Super Microsoft, Bethesda, Activision, whatever they're going to call it. Xbox Game Studios is what they're calling it, but
it's so wild because then isn't PlayStation in talks as well? Or did they buy someone? Or they bought a
they are acquiring Bungie.
That's right, Bungie. Yeah, yep. Bungie. And so
Mm-hmm.
It's like all this is like wild. A part of me kind of feels like excited because Microsoft has money and they can put behind money in these studios. Now whether or not that might help, I guess we have to wait until these certain games come out and see if Microsoft buying these really is just going to help excel and make the game so much better.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, a part of me kind of feels like this is like big companies kind of becoming a monopoly, and they're just like, we're just buying every single thing. And like, if you want to play this game, you have to get it from us, or you're going to have to get a subscription service to play this game.
Yeah, and so the big thing, that it's a very valid fear. It's a very valid fear to have. Like, I understand everyone's like being trepidatious about Microsoft kind of forcing people to, you know, potentially buy Xboxes or get into the Xbox ecosystem, and it's a valid fear. I guess I'm taking the more optimistic approach. I want to believe that this is going to help these studios develop their games. You know, I hope that's the case. I hope these studios are able to work on things that they say that a lot of studios say that Microsoft allows them to just create stuff and do whatever that Microsoft gives them the tools to do what they want to do. And I hope that's true. And I hope that stays true. And, but yeah, it is the acquisition side of things. It is kind of scary. It's not quite a monopoly yet. There's still plenty of different there's still publishers and developers out there that aren't with Microsoft, that aren't with Sony, that aren't with Tencent, that aren't with the Embracer Group. If you're familiar with Tencent or the Embracer Group, the Embracer Group has been buying up some of the weirdest fucking studios. They bought. Are you familiar with Deep Silver?
Silver.
They made. They. I think they were either developers or the publishers for Dead Island. And a lot of other games. I don't think Dying Light falls with that group, but yeah. So, do you remember the game? And then Embracer Group's also buying like IPs as well, because they bought Kingdoms of Amalur, I believe. Right? I might be speaking on my ass. Let me check. Yeah, it's Embracer Group. It's THQ Nordic that has the rights to Kingdom of Amalur, but THQ Nordic is part of the Embracer Group. So Embracer Group is like the parent company, sort of like Microsoft being the parent company of Xbox Game Studios, Bethesda, all of that. So Embracer Group is the parent company of all of that. But Embracer Group is also scooping up everything. It's just interesting to see like all of these studios getting scooped up, and like almost like it's an arms race to see who can scoop up the most and get the most attention.
Exactly.
But I think I just want to be optimistic about this. I want to like, my thing is like taking a wait and see, because Microsoft is pretty much confirmed. Hold on, let me pull up the article real quick. It's from an article from The Verge about exclusivity for Call of Duty. It's not going to be exclusive, basically.
Oh, yeah, they're keeping it on PlayStation as well.
So Microsoft, this is from The Verge, it's by Tom Warren. Microsoft plans on keeping, essentially Microsoft is going to keep it multi-platform, which is the smart choice, because Call of Duty has millions upon millions of players on PlayStation, so that is like, you're throwing money away at that point if you don't keep it on PlayStation. But according to the article, though, Microsoft's going to keep Call of Duty multi-platform. They're going to keep pretty much anything that Activision Blizzard does multi-platform. Supposedly, we'll see what it turns out to be in a couple years. Because anything could happen.
Yeah,
from the now and 2026, 2028, whatever. Whenever the Call of Duty 60 million comes out and Xbox exclusive, but
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so. It'll be interesting, and like the thing with this too is to keep in mind that this isn't finalized. Like the acquisition's not finalized. It's going to take like a year or two, or not two, but it's going to take like a year for it to finalize, and the U.S. government can still say no to it. Can still strike it down. And if that happens, then Activision's back at square one, and people start hating Activision. Go back to, I guess people still hate Activision no matter what, because of all the nonsense of. Back the treating people like shit and all that crap.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
and that's the other thing people are interested in seeing, if Microsoft rights the wrongs that Activision was having back in like I don't know if you were keeping up with the Activision Blizzard news, all of the
I definitely was.
All the bullshit happening, treating employees like shit, and sexual
like
harassments and all that,
and all that. Yeah. That's actually one of the first things that popped in my head. I'm like, well, maybe something that good that can happen from this, Microsoft can step in and kind of assist with that to make that working environment a better place for workers and make it to deal with all the issues that they're having, you know?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that's really important. And so that's probably one of the most important things for people to feel safe and feel like not have to worry about sexual advancements and things like that against, unwanted and unwarranted.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking, like one of the first things, because I was like, one, this is going to it's going to be a bad look for the company if this doesn't get resolved or gets fixed. And hopefully if this does go through, Microsoft can help and, clean up the issue.
Yeah. Clean up house. And, get rid of the people that were in executive positions that allowed that kind of shit to happen, kick it to the curb and all that. So, it'll be interesting to see. It's going to be a while before it finalizes. A lot of more stuff is going to come out throughout the year, probably. As the deal gets finalized and what certain things mean for groups. So, going to pivot here over to Sony and purchasing Bungie. The news with Bungie is that Bungie is going to stay independent, but is going to have the resources of Sony.
Oh, nice.
So it's still going to be like Destiny is still going to be on Xbox. There's according to Bungie, they're going to keep putting stuff on Xbox and being multi-platform and stuff like that. But they have the support of Sony, the money of Sony. But then Sony also has the talent of Bungie. Because there was an article. I took it off. I don't have it in the doc anymore. I don't know why I deleted it. But Sony was planning to have multiple games of service similar to Destiny by 2026.
Oh wow!
I gotta look up that article real quick so I can cite who I got that from. But they were planning on games. They want to have games as a service like Destiny by 2026. Multiple things, and so Sony gets to use that sort of talent that Bungie has, because Destiny, whether you like Destiny or not, has been really successful, has been pretty much the only successful of these games as a service, or at least it's the only one that I ever hear about. Like, I don't hear about what was the Ubisoft one? There was crap. It was there was like the only thing I remember out about it was like a virus broke out in the city of New York.
Oh, you're talking about what the Ubi? What the hell is it? Hold on. What is it? The Division?
Yeah, the Division. There we go. Division 1 and 2.
I remember that kind of like just came and went. Like, it just felt like it just came and went.
Yeah. Okay. So the article I was citing was from The Verge, from Tom Warren. Sony planning more than 10 live service games before March 2026.
Wow.
The article doesn't say which ones that Sony's planning on doing, but you could assume like probably Ghost of Tsushima, probably Last of Us. That. Could you imagine Spider-Man being a live service game? That'd be interesting. But
that'd be really interesting.
And then Fortnite's live service. So I guess Fortnite and Destiny are the only two live service games that I actually can think of that are consistently still around, still relevant, still talked about. Because Destiny 2 just dropped an expansion pack last week, or was it 2 weeks ago? The Witch Queen or something like that. And Fortnite is constantly updating stuff, constantly putting stuff out. They have concerts in Fortnite now. I don't even know what that's like because I don't play Fortnite. But like,
I've seen videos of it. It's crazy.
Yeah,
like, just the stuff that they do in there.
Yeah, I don't play Fortnite, but man, I'm fascinated by Fortnite. Like,
Do you remember Fortnite? What it was originally?
Yeah, it was like a team survival thing. You were
like zombie thing.
Yeah,
It's crazy to think that happened because I remember
that's still a thing too. You can still pay. I believe you can still buy that, right? Can you still buy Fortnite? I'll look that up. Fortnite.
But I remember when that first came out, I was like, yeah, this game looks okay. And then they just pivoted and changed it completely to that battle royale system. And next thing you know, they went up. Crazy.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any information about it.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember it being like the zombie survival thing and trying to survive and crap. I remember that, and yeah, it was only out for like 2 months before they pivoted to battle royale, and then the battle royale just took off and took over the world. Seemingly took over the world like overnight, and it's fascinating because like PUBG was a thing. Like PUBG was the big battle royale at the time, but then Fortnite came on, and then PUBG is still played now. Like it's still a thing, but like it's nowhere near as relevant as Fortnite is. Like Fortnite, even though it came out 2017-ish, 2018 or something like that, still going strong all these years later. The only other battle royale I hear about a lot is the Call of Duty one, the Call of Duty Warzone.
Oh yeah.
But even then, that's not as prevalent as Fortnite. Like, but yeah. So like, anyways, we're getting off topic here for the Sony Bungie thing. But yeah, so Sony wants to do 10 games as a service before 2026, and so they have the talent at Bungie to now help them do that because Bungie has the experience with Destiny 1 and 2. So it'll be interesting to see how all of that unfolds. It'll be interesting to see like what else comes of that too.
I'm excited to see what Bungie could do and like how Sony can help them and just push out interesting ideas and interesting games. And so this is like one of those things where I'm like, okay, I'm excited for this to see where they can take this.
Yeah,
because it kind of opens up a whole nother section of possibilities for Bungie and Sony together, and to make Sony look that much better, to try to be like, hey, y'all should try to come to Sony versus Xbox and so on.
Yeah, and that's the side of and Bungie also brings in the multiplayer side to Sony, something that Sony. Yeah, it's had the multiplayer for Uncharted, the multiplayer for Last of Us. Ghost of Tsushima has the Ghost of Tsushima Legends. But when you think Sony, you don't really think multiplayer games, right? You think of these single-player open world experiences, or you think of Last of Us, So with Bungie there, you now open the doors to multiplayer games. Like, I mean, are making the multiplayer games more prevalent in the Sony sphere and giving more value to the PlayStation players. So I'm going to be interested in seeing where this goes. I'm again same with the Microsoft. I'm optimistic about where this can go and how it can help these companies. And I like the idea that at least as far as we know, based on the statements that have been made, that Bungie is going to stay independent. They're just going to be. Sony's just going to be giving them money, essentially, I guess. I mean, it's probably not that simple, but that's what I would love to think. They just take the money. Exactly. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. And again, it's going to be one of those things that we're not going to see the immediate effects of. It's the same with Microsoft. Even when the deal is through next year, Microsoft. Activision stuff, we're not going to see any immediate effects, even when the deal is finalized. It's going to
probably take a year or two.
It's going to probably take more than a year or two. It's probably going to take like 5-6 years before we actually we start seeing kind of the results of it if we're still alive. Who knows what's going to happen because of the state of the world. We don't have to talk about UK and Russia. I'm not going to inject politics into this. But fuck no. Okay, we won't go any further. I'll stop.
Oh my god.
You got to stop me before I get ahead of myself. But yeah, so like we got all that, and then the other thing that I want to talk about with Sony, something I'm excited about because I got that right there. I've kept flashing it on the stream because I keep on clicking on things when I shouldn't. But the Sony PlayStation VR 2. I'm curious, Elias. Are you a fan of VR? Do you like VR? Have you played with VR at all?
So I haven't played with VR, but I've seen, of course, other people play with it. I think it is interesting. There were parts of me initially that were like VR is just like this, it's not as great as playing with a controller and things. And
yeah, it was a gimmick almost.
Yeah, basically, I was like, this is just a gimmick, But then when you kind of start to see how much effort like publishers and like companies are putting behind it in the games that make it like interesting, like for example, like Half-Life Alyx, seeing stuff, people are like, this is amazing. This is like a really great game.
It's considered like the best VR experience you can have. So.
Exactly. Yeah. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh wait, maybe kind of like if you get the right company to create the right game that will make it worth it, then I'll be like, okay, I see the benefits of it. Versus just some cool other games, but I'm a fan of it. The one thing that I guess maybe it's just me being an old man type of thing where I'm like, I don't, my brain can't fathom the idea of, I don't know if the controller will ever go away, mm-hmm. And we kind of go into this VR type of thing because I'm just like, I don't know, is that the future? But maybe it is years down the line. But it's interesting to see. I do now. I'm kind of more in the kind of like how you were talking about with these acquisitions from these big companies. Mm. I'm kind of interested to see what they do and how they make it interesting. Because there's actually a lot of cool ideas that Sony has that that Half-Life Alyx from Steam has, and it's. Mm-hmm. I'm interested. Because I'm trying to see how you can make that just as good as. Just how we're playing now with controllers. Yeah. And so it's interesting.
Yeah, I'm a fan of VR. It's come a long way because it was a gimmick back in like 2013, 2014, whenever VR started becoming a thing, and we had multiple companies trying to make VR stuff. I enjoyed my PSVR, which is right behind me, the little home now. My cat chewed through the cables, so it's no longer useful. So I can't actually use it anymore because my cat chewed up the cables. But I like VR. I like the potential it has. I am staunchly against the metaverse. Mainly because of Facebook. Like I want to get the Oculus. I guess it's called the Meta Quest now. But I want to get an Oculus Quest 2 because it's a wireless headset. And that's like and I'll get into the PlayStation VR 2 here in a second. But like the Oculus Quest being wireless is like a game changer. Like it's just definitely. it's amazing. Freedom. You're not tethered to a screen. You're not tethered. You have full movement and stuff like that. And so that's the direction I want to see VR go. I can be, as much as I'm going to be anti-Facebook. Granted, Oculus Quest 2 came out before. Anyways, we don't have to get into the weeds of this. I don't need to be opinionated right now. Backing up to PlayStation VR 2. The thing that bugs me about the PlayStation VR 2 is the fact that it is still right here. You still have a cable. You're still tethered. It's the thing that the Oculus is the Oculus has shown, the Meta Quest, whatever you want to call it, has shown that you can do headsets that are wireless. You have to get like battery packs, and the battery packs are heavy and stuff like that. But as technology advances, that'll lessen and stuff. It's just this part here is the thing that bugs me, like being tethered. Granted, it is not from what the article on Ars Technica by Kyle Orland goes into. It is only a single cable. You're not gonna. It's not like the mess that was the old. This one back here had like 20,000 cables. It wasn't really 20,000 cables, but it had a mess of cables that you had to use to make it work, and it was a nightmare. It was stupid. Once when I basically I set it up and kept it that way for a while, and then I rearranged my room. And when I rearranged my room, I was like, I'm not plugging this shit back up. This is too much. This is a nightmare. So no more playing Beat Saber for me. I'm not going to play Beat Saber anymore. That's all I ever played. I played Resident Evil on that too. I did play Resident Evil 7, I think. Anyways, Biohazard, I believe is whatever that one. It was not good. I didn't enjoy it, but I hear people love it. But I'm interested in seeing what the PlayStation VR 2 can do with it. They had some really good games on VR 2. They had Astrobot. I don't know if you're familiar with Astrobot. It's really, it's really awesome. Like Astrobot Rescue Mission was awesome. Moss was really good. Beat Saber, of course, is like probably is if you're gonna go get a VR headset, Beat Saber is the thing that you need to play because it's just awesome. It's awesome, good time, and it can work you out fairly decently. But I'm interested in seeing how PlayStation's going to support this. At the end of this article, it mentions that Sony is hoping to ship millions of PSVR 2 headsets by the end of 2022. There has been no official confirmation of a price or release date from Sony. The original PlayStation VR sold over 5 million units as of early 2020. I was one of those 5 million people. So this is one of the 5 million units that got sold during that time.
Wow.
But yeah, so Sony sold a lot of PlayStation. I believe I would have to pull up the exact thing, but for a while, PlayStation VR was the fastest selling of the VR headsets. I might be talking out of my ass there, but I might remember seeing something like that. But yeah, so like I think Sony has the fan base to be able to pull this off, to sell more units. I don't think it's going to take much for Sony to go, hey, everybody buy the new PlayStation VRs. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to, you get a lot of Sony people are like people that love Sony, that love PlayStation. They're going to see, oh, VR headset, let's buy it. Let's scoop it up. Let's get it for my PS5 to add value to the PS5, to add new ways to play games to the PS5. So
exactly. I definitely agree with you.
I think it's ambitious to make it 2022. I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I do not see this coming out in 2022. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll come out in 2022. I don't see it coming out, and I definitely don't see it selling or shipping millions by the end of 2022, unless it comes out.
I was gonna say, I kind of feel like it's gonna be like the PS5, where they only ship out a certain numbers, and they kind of have to like slowly release them, and then people are going to buy them up. But like, I don't. If so, maybe next year. But if they're trying to be hopeful this year, it's only going to be like it's not going to be 5.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see, like, if it comes out this year, it's going to be a limited sort of release like the PS5, because it's still hard to get a PS5. Like, there's still like. Yes, there are a lot of people that have PS5s out there, and yes, there's a lot, but there's still a lot more people that want a PS5. Like,
exactly.
It's like, do you have a PS5 or?
No, I don't have a PS5. I did want to get one, but then it's just so hard to get it, and then of course people like scalpers are upselling it into the thousands, and so I'm trying to wait until hopefully they're able to meet demand and do it that way, but. No,
the demand is still high. Yeah. Like I got lucky with my PS5. I was just really lucky. I was I was watching a streamer, and I was watching. Do you know who Snowbike Mike is?
Haven't heard of him.
He's a member of Kind of Funny.
Okay, yeah.
I was watching one of his streams, and then somebody in chat was like, "The Amazon has the PS5 on pre-order, get it!" And Snowbike Mike like flipped his table over, went to do it. I was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna go to this, fucking do this too." Got my pre-order that way because somebody randomly in the chat was like, "Go get your pre-orders in, guys!" And so I scrambled, was able to get it, and then a couple days later, when I tried to pre-order the Xbox Series X, didn't happen. So I didn't get an Xbox until about 2-ish weeks ago when I got the Xbox Series S.
Okay.
I would have preferred to get the X, but X's are hard to get. The S's are actually everywhere. So which is great if you want an Xbox, great. But the meaty boy of the Xbox family is the one that's hard to get. Sorry, my dog is going crazy.
Oh, you're good.
But yeah, so like, I just don't see it coming out in 2022. Like,
no, I don't either.
I can't. I just don't see it, man. Like, especially
I think it's ambitious of them to to do that.
Yeah, like especially like with the state of the world right now. Like, I know we can be pessimistic place that we're in right now because we are getting over COVID supposedly. Who knows what will happen in the next 2 months? Maybe there will, because could a new variant could pop up or whatever, and then we have the stuff happening over in Ukraine. Who knows if that's going to escalate to anything? So there's like so many I'm being jaded and pessimistic right now with everything that is happening currently in the world. That it's like I don't see this coming. But I mean, on the flip side to that, if it comes out, it's a good escape for people to ignore the world.
Yep.
But yeah, like
very true.
But yeah, definitely on the millions part is what also kind of like is like the only way I could see it selling 1 million by the end of 2022 is if it came out like now,
Exactly.
Like,
exactly. If it has time to build up.
Yeah, if it dropped like at the end of March, and that's the only way I could really see it. But I mean, it does say ship, not necessarily sell, so there is the difference there between shipping and selling. So maybe they could ship millions by the end of 2022, but still, I don't know. Like, especially again, going back to the PlayStation, how hard it is to get PlayStation, how hard it is to get to Xbox. I can see it.
I agree with you.
I can see it.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
I think
we're in a slow burn right now, so I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, I definitely see the stuff for next year coming out next year and selling millions, probably shipping millions. But I definitely don't see. It's just so hard. It's just so hard to see. Definitely. But yeah. Any other thoughts about Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo? Anything you want to see from them?
I want to see. Well, for Sony, I want to see. I don't know if maybe better games is the right thing, but more good games. Because right now, kind of like the first year of having a PS5, you kind of had Spider-Man, what was it, God of War.
No God of War. There's no God of War.
Sorry.
No God of War yet.
But,
no God of War.
I'm thinking of the previous one from the previous generation. But what I want Sony to release more good games. Something that's worth buying the PS5 for. And that'll come with time. And so I want that. I want to see Microsoft clean up stuff too.
Yeah. So, just out of curiosity, so like Ratchet and Clank, Returnal, those don't do it for you on the PS5?
No. That's a good game, but it's kind of like, I guess maybe after that, it's kind of like it's good to have like a variety of things. Ratchet and Clank, great game, love that game. But it's kind of like, I guess maybe after you're done with that, then you're like, okay, what else am I going to do? Am I going to replay Ratchet and Clank, or am I going to go to the next thing? And so, but I think that'll happen with time.
Yeah, I think it's a problem on both systems. Like, Xbox doesn't have too much unless you like Forza and Halo. That's all that really came out in its first year. That's centric to Xbox. PlayStation did have a little bit more. They had Returnal, they had Ratchet and Clank. They just dropped Horizon Forbidden West.
Oh yeah, they just dropped it.
Yeah. I've been playing that. I love it. I definitely like. I think as time goes on, we're going to see a lot more drops. We're going to see a lot more things. Like, rumor has it that the next God of War is supposed to drop this year. It's in the nebulous ether, like Breath of the Wild 2 or whatever the next the game's going to be called. It's just rumors or expectations. With God of War, the sequel Ragnarok was announced. It was supposed to come out at the end of last year, and then it got delayed, permanent. Like, it got delayed to an indefinite date. I shouldn't say permanently because it wasn't delayed permanently, but an indefinite date. And so the expectation, that means since it didn't meet the 2021 end of the year, that means it's going to come out in 2022, right? But then we haven't heard anything either. So,
True.
Who knows if God of War will drop? It probably will, maybe. And that would be a good way to end the year for Sony, because Sony started with Horizon Forbidden West. Then you had, Elden Ring is multi-platform, but Elden Ring has sold a lot on PlayStation. I mean, Dark Souls games are are usually associated with PlayStation because of Demon Souls and all that being exclusive, and Bloodborne being exclusive. So, it makes sense that Elden Ring would sell the most on PlayStation. But it would be a good way to end the year for Sony to have God of War drop and be like our holiday release. Come play God of War Ragnarok.
Exactly.
So that's still possible, because it's only March, so we have plenty of time for games to get announced and stuff. And maybe they do drop. Maybe they drop VR. Maybe they drop the PSVR 2. And guess what? God of War. You guys thought
on the PSVR 2?
You thought it was gonna be a PS5 game? No, it's a PSVR 2.
Oh my god!
Now you gotta. That's the only way to play God. I don't think that's
gonna
happen.
That'd be hilarious.
I don't think that's gonna happen at all. But that would be funny.
Oh yeah.
God of War is dropping. PSVR 2 dropping. It's the only way you can play God of War. I'm pretty sure people would be pissed off.
They'd be upset. But like, what the hell?
I mean, that's how you get that's how you get all those millions in people's pockets, or into their houses. You attach the big name like God of War. People want to, because people love God of War 2018. People love that game. Like, it's insane how much people love that game. I don't like it. I'm just probably crushed everybody's dreams. It's not that. This is a conversation for another time on what makes a game good, what makes a game bad.
Oh yeah.
I recognize that it's a good game. It's just not for me. Like, I've tried multiple times to get into that game. Multiple times. I've tried so many, and I always reach a point where I'm just like, I don't really care what's happening, and I don't want to play.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm forcing myself to play, and when I feel like I'm forcing myself to play a game, I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
No, I get it. It makes perfect sense with me, because I have some games like that where people really like the games, and I just can't get into it. I'm not drawn into it as much. It doesn't pull me in. So it makes sense.
That and the most recent game for me like that was Dying Light, but we don't have to get into Dying Light.
Oh.
you saw some of that. So.
Yeah, I did see some of that. I was like, oh boy.
Yeah. But yeah, like, so yeah, there's a lot that can come. And then, like, on the Microsoft side, we have Starfield coming out at the end of the year, supposedly. So that's Bethesda game. That's the first I was about to say Star Wars. I don't know why. That's the first Microsoft exclusive game under this new agreement with this new Bethesda Microsoft sphere. So it'll be interesting to see that, how Starfield lands, what that'll do, if it'll be like just Fallout in space or Elder Scrolls in space, or if they try to change it up and make something completely new. So I'm interested in seeing how Starfield lands, but it's coming out in November. So
nice.
Supposedly. I mean, it's another one of those things. I'll believe it. I'll believe it when it comes out, but I'm gonna assume that it's probably gonna get delayed. But I'm just being pessimistic with all of these, with everything that's at the, like, anytime a game is said to be at the end of the year, I just assume that means it's gonna get delayed into the next year.
Yeah, I could.
Just my assumption. My assumption. And then later on this month, we have Ghostwire Tokyo. Have you seen anything about Ghostwire Tokyo dropping?
No, I've heard of it, but I haven't seen anything about it.
Are you familiar with the Evil Within games?
Yeah.
It's from those developers. It's also it's technically a Bethesda game. It's the company is under the Bethesda umbrella, but it's going to be exclusive to PlayStation 5 because before the deal with Microsoft happened. It was one of the Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo were part of that weird thing where it's exclusive to PS5 first. It's timed exclusive, and then and that happened before the deals, before Microsoft acquired everything. And but yeah, so eventually Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop are going to be coming over to Xbox and most likely Game Pass and being on Game Pass and all that. But yeah, Ghostwire Tokyo is dropping later on this month. It'll be interesting to see. So that PlayStation has that to look forward to.
Nice.
If you like horror games, I'm probably not going to play it, but I'll probably watch other people play it.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm a scaredy. Dead Space is the only horror game that I've ever really enjoyed. So.
Oh wow! Okay.
And I never found Dead Space scary. So.
I get it though. I think it's an exciting time. I think there's a lot of possibilities. Kind of like trying to be optimistic. I think there's opportunity for a lot of good games to come out and like us seeing like good things happen with the companies too. So
yeah, oh yeah, and well, we're gonna get into this more next week about all the games that are coming out and the games that have already come out. But like one of the games that took me by surprise this year that I wasn't even on my radar until I was listening to somebody talk about it, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna try that out, and that's Ollie Ollie World.
Oh yeah. I saw you play it.
It's probably my game of the year. Like just based off of right now, like everything that I've played right now, Horizon Forbidden West, Elden Ring, Rainbow Six Extraction, Ollie Ollie World is the one that I've had the most fun with so far. So well, but you know, we're only 2 months in, like, or 3 months in now. Like there's been so many gosh darn good games, and we're going to talk about that next week because we are going to be ending this. We're going to be ending our first episode of Respawn Please right here, y'all. Because we've talked a lot. There was a lot covered here. We had a lot of technical difficulties that we're going to have to figure out and work out later. But anyways, thank you all so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this. I wrote an outro and I forgot what the outro is, so I have to look at the script.
Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of Respawn Please. If you're an audio listener, you can join us live every Thursday at 7 o'clock. That's Central Time. Central Time. On twitch.tv//respawnplea, PLEA. Or if you want to see the video version, you can go to YouTube and search for Respawn Please. Hopefully you find us, and if you're watching live, you can I messed up, sorry. And if you're watching live and you want to take us with you wherever you go, you can find us on all streaming services wherever you find your podcast, just by searching Respawn Please. We're on there. So
yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, well, we stumbled over a little bit, but we'll work out the kinks later.
Fine. This is more human. We're not robotic, you know.
I am a robot. What are you talking about?
In transmission.